Hello and welcome to Failure and Analysis. I'm playing Blood Bowl 2 with the Elven Union. It's game 20, the final game, against Runt 52's dwarf team, the Das Evils. Should be fun. Everyone's favorite team to hate. 280, huh? Let's take a look at his team. I don't think he's going to have any tackle, I'll be honest. Oh, look at that. He's got a lot of tackle. Like a good... Ooh, multi-block. Boy, this guy is banged up. Kadar. He's got himself some annoying stand firm. Tons of guard. Jump up on a troll slayer. What a treat. And a niggle. Let's make sure we hit him a bunch. Kazakh. Does he have a... enhancement? Oh, free bribe. Here it comes. Alright, so 280. I might take Hubris. He sounds fun. Yeah, why not? Hubris. How you doing, Augusta? Yep. The Chaos team tried, but just couldn't keep him down. Let's see how the dwarf does. I should have just bought 2 more rerolls. Look at him. Guess he's a dark elf. Oh, the death roller. I'll receive. Short psychopaths. Should that be the name of my halfling team? Shorter psychopaths? The Noblars are probably shortest, so I can only go shorter. A derp, a derp, a derp, a derp. Let's hit some dwarves. Classic push. Everybody's favorite push. That's right. That's right. Leading entertainment providers. The dwarves. Uh-oh. That's a lot of sixes. Guard, stand firm, stand firm, stand firm, stand firm, stand firm, stand firm. It's just a recipe for fun. Yeah. Lots of guard. Multi-block death roller waiting in the wings.
Yeah, smells like a good old-fashioned fight.
They've got some flavor, some troll slayers, salt and pepper, a couple of blitzers, 2 runners. Does he have 2 blitzers? Oh yeah, there's one. There's the other. Oh no, those 2 longbeards. Pa-pow! Let's get the party started. KO. What was the other blitzer? He can't be bothered until it's time to score a touchdown so he can get guard. Oh no. I'm being based by 3 stand firm. One and 6 to lose the game. Do-doop a doop a doop a doop. Well, that's a nice incentive. I'll just throw the ball back here. Oh yeah, there's one. Do I get the kill for that? Count for that? Oh, thick skull. If I force him to make GFIs to cover me and he dies. Here's Mighty Blow. Gotcha. Oh yeah. Get stunned. Dun dun dun, success. Let's go hit this niggled guy. Yeah. Take it. What? He didn't die? Ridiculous. Oh no! Oh, I guess I couldn't. He's got guard. I hate you. It's from a foul. Wow, alright. A fouled death roller dies on the pitch. That is worth some ducats. I like it. Too tall brown, I like it. It's time to focus some low armor guys, right? Kill us some dwarves. I don't understand why the game can't end like right now. I mean, I scored my touchdown, 2 turns. Seems like my job here is done. Let's just walk away. He wants to play on for some reason. That's a lot of dudes. Game starts again. He just fronted me a touchdown, that's all. Now he has 8 turns to score. I thought Riot... I guess it's 50-50 on if it's 2 through 7. That's pretty funny though. Turn 1. Reset the clock. That's right. It's the dwarf bounty board. That's what my stream is all about. There goes new kid. First of many. How you doing, Lurkin Z? Thank you very much for the follow. I will try to get you a sub by killing a dwarf. A tier 3 sub if I foul a death roller into death. Two and 2. Tough it out, Zaman. Yep. It's a small but pretty pretty die-hard community. We do love our Blood Bowl. I mean, I don't know any game that... I'm trying to think of another game that I've played off and on in so many different formats. Maybe XCOM. For so many years, you know, multiple decades. So... And this game, like... It hasn't changed that much, right? Certainly in the last 10 years. So that's pretty good longevity for a game. And it's because of random progression, it's because of a variety of teams. You know, like every time you set out to play. Unless you're Crucifer. Things just go a little bit differently. But yeah, it says a lot about a game when you can play it for so long, so many decades, and keep coming back for more. I guess Manial's building the same dwarf team over and over too. The guards stand firm. Dwarf team. You need to inject some creativity into the options of some of these teams. I don't want to believe that there's a mathematical best. I want people to be creative, try different things. So I tried the passing game. I'm ready to call it a failure. But it's been fun. And some of my passes have been glorious. A derp, a derp, a derp, a derp. It's like a bunch of guys in tuxedos, right? Doesn't matter which one you hit. They're all the same. Oh, no tackle on your death roller. Yeah, Axis and Allies, that's a great board game. Fantastic. I played that so much in my life. I did feel like elements of it got solved though, like we started to do some of the same things over and over. But now that the internet's around, you know, there's a couple new versions. There's why do I hit a stand firm guy? There's some internet variants, you know, out there, which is really nice. Don't you wish you had tackle there, Death Roller? Mr. Death Roller? I probably should call him Mr. before he starts ripping me up. Little politeness, never hurt anyone. That's the block I should have made first, even without block. So I can hit Captain Niggle there. Yeah, that game is amazing. Yeah, I think that I think it's more true for board games. There's something about board games that give them longevity. It's probably the social element of getting together with your buddies, you know, because the experience is just so much better when, you know, you're playing multiplayer with buddies, you know. Yeah, Dominion, amazing. Another great one. I like a lot of the company I worked at, Cryptozoic, put out a ton of deck builder games, and they're all really fun, based on Street Fighter and the DC universe and Lord of the Rings, and there were a lot of good ones in there. Really fun. But yeah, with the right group of people, super fun. With the wrong group of people, not so much, but that's true with everything, right? Yeah, absolutely, Too Tall Brown. And I think a lot of that, is just is the way it was designed, right? Like, you don't get people stalling, you don't get people like min-maxing their teams, you know, it's just go out there and have fun, play around, you know, like play it really naturally, try crazy things and just laugh as everything fails. And so true, Arkansas. Tizzle Bizzle, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, this is just a great Beer and Pretzels game, right? Like, the one thing that experience is missing for me is the development, the progression part of it, right? Yeah, Taylor, you know, I love Dota too. I've been playing, that's another game I've been playing for, you know, I stopped probably 2-3 years ago. Just to take a little break, and then once you fall off that bike, it's really hard to get back on. Like, you get rusty real quick. But I played Dota, the original Dota, through League of Legends and a few of the variants for 20 straight years, right? Like, that's another game that just pulled me in, and it's because of the, you know, the 5 people on your team versus the 5 people on their team. The combinations there are so diverse that every experience is just a little bit different, and there's also a pretty high skill cap on a lot of the players and a lot of the characters, right? Like, I try to play some simpler guys, you know, some top laners like Trundle, just like, yeah, hit things with your club, right? and then I'd get Lee Sin, and every game was just like, yeah, I got a couple of quad kills, and I basically single-handedly won the game for my team, but you end up feeling bad because there were so many plays where you could have done a lot better with Lee Sin, right? It's just like his skill cap was so ridiculously high, right? It's just like, yeah, I did great, but not good enough. Not good enough. You could still do better. It's just so funny. That's another game that's just amazing fun, but really, really hard to play with other people unless you just sort of make this pact to make it an enjoyable experience. I used to play with a lot of people that I really like, and it just takes one guy who's super competitive to ruin it for everyone else, right? And that's what, you know, kind of happened. We all just kind of got sick of, you know, some of us playing casually, some of us playing, you know, hardcore, right? Or one of us playing hardcore. It's like poker when there's a bunch of masters who really care about the money at the table, and then there's guys who are just there for fun, and they're just randomly throwing their chips to other players that aren't the guys who care about the money. They get really upset, you know, because it's like you've just handed that guy the win because you don't care. You're just here to have fun. It's like, and that can be really, really upsetting. So poker's hard to play with like a mix of, it's hard to play as like with a mix of people in a beer and pretzels having fun kind of environment. Even though it's one of the best games in the world, right? I want these guys just... Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's tough, Lurkin Z, right? Like, you almost have to do that, right? Like, you have to just go back to the pub groups, you know? It's just like... Ugh. Because those are just a total toss-up, right? Like, you can have some great teams and great fun, or it can just be a total waste of your night. Yeah. Clinks, it's so amazing. I love Juggernaut. He was just my absolute favorite. I love Melee in general, because when you start that game, it's like, yeah, the range guys are really approachable. You know, you can fire from a safe distance and stuff, and the skill cap on Melee guys seemed much higher, and so I got a lot of satisfaction on mastering, you know, the step game. You know, like is so important in Street Fighter. And so yeah, just totally hooked. Right, that's funny. That's Fuego Stalon. That's, yeah, that's pretty interesting analysis. Yeah, like we take a lot of our fun from you know, the social element, and the social element of that game. I've from a game design perspective, I've put a lot of thought into League of Legends, and it's one of the least intuitive games to learn, because most of your instincts on what to do in a game like that are wrong. And so when you do them, because you're new and you think, well, I'm just going to do what my instincts tell you to do. For example, your buddy's dying in the jungle. He's getting 2-on-1 or 3-on-1. He gets ambushed. He's probably going to die. Your instincts go help him. And so you go over there, your friend dies, then they turn on you and they kill you, and now you've handed their team an extra kill, right? And your whole team is yelling at you, right? And you're like, well, wait a second, I thought this was a team game. I thought I'm supposed to help my buddy, right? Like, isn't that what we do for each other? We play as a team? Everyone's just like, no. And they don't have time to explain it, right? And they're just angry, and you're confused, and now you're angry because everyone's angry at you. And it's like, how did this whole situation arise? And there's so many elements like that. Don't push the lane too fast. You killed their tower. What do you mean I killed the tower too fast? Like, we're supposed to be killing towers. That's the objective. Kill their base. And it's like, well, no. You're supposed to do it at the right time after you farm a number of kills. And there's just so many things like that. And so it's really difficult for people to progress past that early stage. And in the meantime, while they're trying to learn, they have players yelling at them the entire time, not really explaining why their instincts are wrong, just that you're a stupid idiot and you shouldn't have done that. And so it makes the learning curve not only really complex, but really unfun. And yeah, so the trying to get past that is really difficult. And since it's, you know, since it's pretty much multiplayer only, I mean, they have a couple single player, like, tutorial things or whatever. Oh, he doesn't even have dodge. I'll go over there and take an armor roll. Oh, hey, get killed out of the game. That's right. Yeah, forget about warding, right? Like, super advanced tactic for a new player. The new player is just like, I didn't even know that was one of the things I could buy. You know, it's just like super important, right? But yeah, so, you know, the entertaining part is obviously in the challenge and in the teamwork and in a few moments and the winning or losing or, you know, mastery, you know, gaining mastery over your opponents or over your own gameplay. And so those are all the entertaining parts. But yeah, the fun is like this, as far as social, right, is really hard to come by. So that's an interesting analysis. That would be sort of my take on the difference between fun and entertaining. Uh-oh. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Yeah, and that's something that multiplayer games have had a lot of trouble with recently. Like, I bring up the Vermintide games, super fun, with a group of friends, and you're all exploring the maps together for the first time, right? You're looking all over, you know, it's really super fun. But what is not fun is joining a group randomly, having one or two of the people really know the map and just kind of drag you around, and you're just clicking the mouse, right? Like, killing a few things here and there, while they take you to all the sweet spots to pick up all the tomes or whatever and complete the mission. Like, the difference between those two experiences is massive as far as people's enjoyment. And they haven't figured out a way to, you know, multiplayer games have a hard time, you know, because most of us are sitting alone in our house at our computer, and we want to play, but they haven't figured out a way to link people up that are all in the same place, so that they can have that good positive exploration experience. And yeah, the same is true of, you know, World of Warcraft. Like, when you're looking for group across the servers and you're going to dungeons you've never been to before, and there's one or two guys that know the dungeon run inside and out. They've done it 100 times, and they just sort of tell you what to do every time, or yell at you if you screw up. But it's like there's supposed to be this sort of natural exploration phase, this camaraderie because of it. You're all supposed to be in the same place experiencing these things for the first time, and that first experience is super important, and it's missed. Games haven't put enough work into the structure of taking people at different places and putting them together in the right groups. It's always just, yep, we got enough people, throw them into a game just to keep the queue times down. But it's like, You know, if you ask the average player, they're probably willing to wait an extra 5 minutes for a far better experience than they would have had waiting only 30 seconds. Yeah, and the comparison, Taylor and Bear, the comparison is really what you're saying about the level of saltiness goes down and the toxicity goes down. The comparison there to Blood Bowl is actually really interesting because much like, you know, in most competitive games, but very much so in Dota and in Blood Bowl, the second you tilt, you lose, right? Like, and so the guys that are playing at the highest levels understand this, and they stop tilting because it's just, that's how you lose. Whereas the guys at the lower are the tilters, right? And it's the guys who think that they're really good and tilt easily, that are stuck sort of in the low levels with all the other guys who are actually just learning the game and might be a little more resilient to tilt. They certainly are because they're beginners. They're not going to yell at people because they don't know what they're doing either. Or they don't know what they're doing, so it's hard for them to yell at people. But yeah, so but it's hard to break through. You have to be good and reasonably sound of mind, you know, to like to get to that highest level. And they need to pair, you know, again, find a way to pair the experienced players who take the time to explain things and take, you know, newer players under their arm and say, hey, that was good, do this, you know, coach them, right, and get them over the early humps. But instead it's like all the pros are playing with the pros and all the new players are playing with the crazy tilters that think they know everything about the game. And it's like those two groups just do not mix. It's like oil and water. I want to hit something, but I'm not seeing a lot of good targets.
What was that, Joe?
Because, oh, I've got guard. Look at me.
Oh, I just tried to introduce a catchphrase. My agent says it will help the future.
I can't believe my turn here is just going to be
I hate bad odds.
dodge back 100 times. Yeah, 1 in 36. Kill my team. Yeah, that's true too. Like every community has that group that's just, they're just there for that, right? They're just there to troll everyone. And there's also, because it's a, you know, it's a 5-man team game, you know, the Stuck in Copper or whatever it was called, Bronze. You know, that's a tough thing to beat because you could be really good and you're paired with 4 people that don't know what they're doing, and it's tough for you to like overcome their deficiencies in order to get out of that bronze league, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of people that believed they were better than they were. Like they believed they should be in silver and they really didn't belong in silver. So that's hard to say, but yeah, that's the worst of it. Yeah. Yep, Merkenzy, yep. Yeah, it's sort of this oasis, right? Two funny things. You know, and that's true with most gaming communities. The smaller they are, the better they usually are. Because everyone knows each other, they're a little more accountable, right? you can only mouth off so much before everyone just starts to hate on you, and you can start to feel that. But when you never see people again, everyone discards the social niceties, right? Yeah, and the female thing is it's changing, like a little bit, but it's going to change a lot pretty soon because my 3 girls all play games, all their friends play games, like it is crazy. So the guys out there that are throwing a lot of insults towards girls nowadays, they're going to have to get used to the fact that it's a lot closer to 50-50 and there are environments where they are outnumbered. Assuming that, these girls don't at some point get socialized out of ever playing games, because there's still quite a bit of stigma. I feel like gaming is, gaming in general was stigmatized back when I was younger. And that stigma for guys is definitely gone. And for girls, it's slowly being eradicated. So I don't think we have too long before the mix is better. Yeah, and that's the thing, Juegos de Long, when I talk about failure analysis, like there's no way I can be responsible for the bad things that have happened, why we've lost, right? That's human nature. It's gotta be someone else, right? And in Blood Bowl, we have this convenient excuse of, oh, well, the dice, like I would have never lost if not for the dice. The other coach wasn't that good. I didn't make any mistakes. It's the dice. But when there's no dice being rolled, like in the League of Legends, all of that angst goes straight to your teammates, because you can't take the blame for what just happened. That would require some maturity and some objectiveness and things a lot of us don't have, right? So I'll do it here. Dun 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 dun.
That's it. Pay for the ball carrier.
Oh no! I wanted a good scatter. Instead I got that. I've got no dodge. Can I pick it out of 1 tackle zone though? Definitely stand him up. That's a great comment, Larkinsey. It's true. We play them to, I don't know what again? Is it to prove our maturity level superiority over everyone else? Because we've already hit the top, right? Yeah, that was more what I was used to too. Like, we always had a guy or two in the group that just could not handle that there were, girls around, right? Like, couldn't separate the two experiences of trying to pick up girls and trying to play a game. It just meant, oh, sweet, best of both worlds, right? Chocolate and peanut butter together. It's just like, dude, chill out, right? But, they had to answer for it at the end of the day. We're sitting around a table. It's just like, dude, knock it off, right? Like, whereas on the internet, it's just, yeah, okay. If the community's big enough, that stuff goes pretty unchecked. And, it's another thing that women have to have to learn how to manage, unfortunately, in our society, where it's just like we give them so many landmines to avoid, and not a lot of like recourse on how to solve the things in a way that guys usually would. They don't really have those avenues, so they just sort of have to learn how to get what they want, do the things they want, and either put up with all the nonsense, you know, and it's rough. We just ask them to endure so much more, to enjoy the things they want to do. It's funny because at like Comic-Con, and it's against their own self-interest too sometimes. It's so funny, right? Because, you know, traditionally nerdy guys or geeky guys are not, they're not good with the ladies, right? Let's be honest. Being nerdy nowadays is a little cooler, but back in my day, and so, you know, 10 years ago you go to Comic-Con and it's just a bunch of dudes, right? And nowadays it's a huge mix. And, you know, the Twilight movies came out, and all of a sudden all these girls were going to Comic-Con because, you know, girls were reading Twilight and they were super into Twilight and they had Twilight panels and all that, right? It's super inclusive. And the nerds were freaking out, right? And it was like they were being super mean, and it was just like, you're surrounded by women who are at the Comic-Con with you, you know, right? Like they're sharing in this thing that you enjoy, and yet your response is not to be sweet. There's more girls at Comic-Con nowadays. It's to ridicule them and yell at them and demean them and mistreat them so that they never want to come back. And it's just like, I don't understand. It's so funny. This has to be our thing. It's just so weird. Yeah, and the game is, Dota is really addictive and really fun, and it brings out a lot of the great emotions, like, and it's because the highs and the lows are so diverse, right? Like, games that just kind of deliver this experience, you know, every time aren't as fun, but Dota gives you whoa the peaks and valleys, right? And that's what actually brings people back, right? And yeah, it's just full of that. You can have this amazing experience where it looks like it's doomed and your team bands together and they all communicate and they end up winning, and it's just like, how did we just do that? Oh my god, right? Like, and then you can have the opposite experience, right? And it's just like, ugh. We were set to win and our whole team self-destructed because this one guy started yelling obscenities or whatever once he found out there was a girl on the team. It's just like, ugh. But that emotional texture variance is critical to games delivering, and Blood Bowl, again, another example where it's just, you have that in spades, right? Like, yeah, I mean, how many people would be playing this game if it were really deterministic, like chess? It was just like, yep, you were handed 50 dice at the beginning and you could assign them wherever you needed them, you know? It was just like, you know, there's so many 6s and there's so many 5s, and you just kind of figure out where to place them, and it's just like, that game would be no random progression, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly, Lurkin Z. Women can get through that and still manage to enjoy their thing and manage all the landmines, and that's one of those things where I talk about, like, defeats or challenges or upsetting moments, you know, whatever it is, reveal your passion about a thing, you know, like the women that have put up with all that and kept coming back. It's like you cannot argue that woman is passionate about this thing, right? Because if, you know, despite how difficult it's been, she's still there. She's coming back to get it, and is willing to put up with all the nonsense. Yeah. Yep, that's the stuff. Snatching victory. Oh, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Yeah. We've done it. I'm just going to AFK for a bit here. What happened? Well, you AFK'd. This isn't looking too good, I'll be honest. The good news is I get the ball next. No, I don't. Whoopsie. So yeah, it's going to be really difficult to win this game. Down players. Surrounded by a bunch of big jerks. Oh, the heat. This might save me. This might save me. Take that. You weren't expecting to get knocked down, were you? That's more what you were expecting. Get him. Yeah. Even my throwers are getting in on this dwarf punishing action. That's right. Woohoo! I think I'll step on a dwarf. See how he likes it. Fouled. What? What happened to my bribe? Did I already use it? Oh, we're not at his stadium. We're not. That's funny. The old, which stadium are we in? Trick. It's also, he still has a turn. Yeah, Dota. I don't know. I still don't know. Is the home on the right side here? Is it? I thought it was on the left. I guess it is on the left. I don't know. Let's talk about good games for the show. Yeah. There used to be that bug too. I don't know if there still is, but you used to be able to foul from the end zone. like a few spaces away, so the ball carrier would frequently score and foul a guy simultaneously. Oh, did I have sidestep there? Take that. Oh, I could have frenzy trapped him. Wouldn't have mattered. I didn't lose a bribe. I thought I had a bribe. Because his stadium gives a bribe to both sides. Oh, okay, so the bug is still there. Yeah. It only happened to me once. And it was from a really high... It was from a pretty high level coach. And he did it to me, and it ended up really mattering. And I was pretty upset, because I was just like... Because he caught it between when it was discovered and everyone learned how to do it, and when Cyanide finally came out and said, hey, stop doing that. Or there was even a point where they just said, no, it's cool, go ahead. We'll consider it a clever use of game mechanics or whatever nonsense. And yeah, I was pretty upset. I don't usually get very upset, but that upset me. Oh, look who got all sweaty. The Heat. Yeah, I do think they fixed it. But yeah, super annoying. And you know, it's still a foul. You still take the risk, even though you're scoring, you're still taking the risk of removing your player, you know, more often than you remove theirs. But yeah, so just such an obvious thing that it isn't intended to work that way. The mechanics of it were ridiculous, right? It's not like the guy was next to the end zone and you were fouling him from the end zone. He was like 3 spaces, so it's like clearly your guy is in 2 places at the same time according to the code. So there's no mistaking, you know. It was just people getting away with whatever they could, considering themselves advanced players because they read up on the internet how to do this thing that was broken. Oh, I'm too clever. I'm clever enough to use these bugs to my advantage. That's the stuff that irritates me in communities. Because I rarely tilt in this game, and I rarely tilt in League of Legends. I was stuck in silver because my mechanics weren't good enough. Yeah, so like all the yelling and bickering at people, especially when I was not playing optimally, you know, yelling at me, just made me laugh. I take pleasure in upsetting people because they think they're the greatest player ever and have decided you're not as good as them and therefore deserving of ridicule. The more upset they get, the more I feed into it. Yeah, and it's tough, you know, like, Cyanide is a business like any other, and this game probably doesn't pay much, and, but yeah, and we're a small, like, if we were an Overwatch style or a Fortnite sized community, they'd be on these bugs lickety-split, right? But that's just the way of the world, you know, we have our little corner here, and we love our game, and I mean, considering who made it, I mean, Cyanide made it. They're getting better. I mean, they've grown a lot as a company in the past 10 years. But when they made the original Blood Bowl, they brought this thing that we love to the internet. They were a nothing studio, and the fact that it's still here and kicking and we're able to play it, I'm really pleased with. So, like, I'm frustrated when things go unfixed too, but at the end of the day, almost everything works. It's really sloppy in places, but it's here, we can play it. It's not this broken thing or this messed up thing from its original version. More KOs. Yeah, Too Tall Brown, I think I'm going to do halflings. The reset for the cheer reset Monday, but I remember, man, your nickel's still good with me. We're doing halflings. But time's running out. If someone cheers 6 cents, I think they might get the say. See what I did there? Yeah, halfling sounds fun. Oh, did you not believe I would? Did you have a side bet with some friends? Oh, just the cheerleader. You're not listed at the top of chat as being the cheerleader because I had it set to weekly resets, and it happens to reset on Monday, so it puts everyone back. It puts everyone back to 0 or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I love this game, Lurkin Z, and I love that I can play it. And matchmaking is just massive in terms of like my ability to play a lot in short bursts, or slowly in leagues, once a week at a measured pace. Yeah. Not a huge deal, Too Tall Brown, right? You got your wish, though. Halflings incoming. Look, he's doing vanity passes on me.
A good solid hand.
Oh, it was a handoff. Wait, no, or did he pass it? I think he just handed it off. To a stand firm. Disgusting. Throw it back to him. He's got 0 SPPs. Doesn't he need to score touchdowns? Oh, you're worried about that 5 agility guy. Wait, did you? You did throw it back. Look at you. Ooh, mind powers. I like it. And he caught it. He even did a medium pass. Pretty sweet. He did not have 1 agility, did he? Oh, okay. I was going to say that's... Now you're just mocking me. Look at all those rerolls I have again. Time to start using some. I guess I can move him. So I have 2 stun guys, 1 guy on the ground, and 3 guys to use. Alright. Makes sense, I guess. Here we go. Reroll time. Yeah, I think he's got one somewhere. A 3 movement. No! It's the GFI that gets you. A 3 movement and 1 agi longbeard around here somewhere. Maybe he's on the bench. Maybe he's sweaty. There he is. He's got guard. He can't be fired. That's right. It's not very random if it's 1 every time. 200 ones in a row. And then he ran away, and I'm stunned.
That's a solid formation.
This game is,
The opposing team
it's
has
gotten rough. Here, I'll start insulting him. Yeah, that'd be pretty aggressive, and they're rubbing my nose in it. Oh, see? Can't get him riled up. He's immune to such stuff. That's right. Shoe size. That's a good idea. I can't remember which way I'm supposed to go though. The giant shoes, or is that the worst thing, or is it small shoes? Your mother is perfectly nice, but only perfectly nice.
The players on the ground.
5 gold pieces says he gets kicked in the face first.
Right, normal feet, very important. Never mind that they ate dung out of them, out of their shoes. That's not the part that stings. How many tackle zones are you going to make me dive into for a 2-die uphill? Is this guy? Yeah. Oh, that guard. It's just like... I don't even have dodge. I'm just living the dream here. Hey, look at that. GFI fail. I rolled that first. Oh! That was so close. Yeah, I was hoping to win, or at least finish above 50%, but looks like I'm going to finish slightly below 50%. He didn't even die, that's right. Give that man a medal. I might get a few more losses with halflings. I don't want to get people's expectations too high. 20-0-0 is usually what I do with halflings, but cup to the gunk. He's got so many good fouling options. The team I perform the best with is probably Dark Elves. Though it's a toss-up between Dark Elves and Necromantic. There's a lot of teams I honestly just have not played significantly. I would say I'm better at a specific brand of Elf Ball that Dark Elves offer, which is pretty aggressive basing, you know, trying to irritate but also stall when necessary, because they have 8 armor, so they can do a little more basing than the 7 armor guys. That's why when I play these guys I end up getting crushed, because I probably play them a little bit too much like Dark Elves. And they get based, or they get bashed when I base. And that's not good for anybody. I am going to sign off with a pitch clear. This is ridiculous. Oh, but I got a hit. Nope. Another one. No, Too Tall Brown. That is an interesting idea. Let me write that down. I'm fresh out of a pen, though. That is one, you know, there's one approach. You know, one school of thought says do that. Other school of thought is be on the ground as much as possible. Another foul option, yep. That's a much better one. It's the best one out there, too. Do I play with runners? I have traditionally played with one. Though my latest build, starting build, did not have one. But that's the one I'm using in the Rebel ramp up. So I have two different approaches. One is no witch elves, just pure reliability, 4 blitzers and a runner. And I have to buy the witch elves later. And I've been most successful with that, but I was trying this new build where I had well, that's just not nice. Where I had the witch elf earlier. That's right. My uncle. My uncle works for the mob, and he will extort one of the cyanide reps to ban you if you do not let me break your armor every time the next 5 turns. This can't possibly go wrong. Look at that. Dun dun dun. Get punched. Oh, I punched him. Now you know what's coming now. Get fouled. Nothing. Boo. Yeah, did you see all those rolls I just made? Man. Yeah, I'm in the ramp up for REL, the North American one. But yeah, thanks. Somebody, Miss Days came along? No. I can't remember who got me into it. Iron Adept. But he came by and pitched it, and I was like, yeah, it sounds really fun. Like, I've felt recently like matchmaking is perfect, the champion ladder, just because I like to play a lot in short period of time rather than kind of consistently once a week over years. Because there's frequently been times where I just take, you know, months off or a year off from Blood Bowl to play other games. So, but it sounded really fun, and I really liked the format, and everyone was super communicative, and I liked how big it was, and so there were a lot of pluses. It's your uncle. Gabe Newell is your uncle. Someday it'll work, huh? That dude has a lot of nephews, I'll bet. He is. He's vanity passing back and forth. It's just so mean. So mean. Is he running in circles? Did I miss him running in circles? See if I can put this guy out of his misery. I mean, he's got 2 stat downs, right? Like, come on. Just fire yourself. Only stunned. You bloaty piece of dwarfness. Coming. I'm coming.
Let's see the player get out of that one.
Let's see the player get out of that one.
Surrounded by
Look at all these 6s.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh, nice, Larkinsey. Yeah, I did that some in Orchid Cola years ago, and I was in another league called Sturm von Stahl, and it was really small, but we had a lot of that, a lot of fluff being written in the forums. It was fun. It got really soapy. Pretty interesting. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Taylor and Bear. Yeah, it's like every once in a while we brush up against, you know, people like that. It's just like, no, I don't want to see your house. You know, it's just like, no, don't invite me into your world. It just makes me sad.
Smell your breath and see the dead insects in your teeth.
You have a giant kitchen and all the money to remodel it? Get out of here. That's right, just pick a closet.
Aha, here's
The 3rd pantry. The backup to the backup pantry. Well, you're remodeling it so you can put in all the secret doors and the extra hatches and build yourself a little bunker underneath, and once a year, like he's trying on a new suit. Yeah, you're stoked for it, right? Like repeat business, and we always have the Jason Jones remodel coming up on the books. Oh, stepping. Oh, I could have frenzy trapped him. Not paying attention. I just wanted to be closer to the ball. That's right. That's right. Just get his Wi-Fi password and you're in. It's not even all the fridge either. It's just like where he puts his ice cream, and that's really it. Ice cream and Wi-Fi. 2 things we need.
start something exciting in the dying moments of the match.
More vanity passing. Now he's doing it. Oh, and a GFI. I got this. What's this? No! Well, this is where I'm going to use my reroll, though. So, how you like me now? Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Oh. That's right, that's the important stuff. The Wi-Fi. Whew, you can't have other people on that slowing your download speeds.
The match can't end in a draw.
That's right. That's what I've brought. I've brought you good entertainment tonight. Games 19 and 20 were both just bloodbaths. It was the only way. I was going to push him into the end zone, so I had a shot at two-turning him. That was my big plan. But alas, this game hates me right now, so I'm going to respond to that hate with halfling love. Big halfling hugs. Get in there, niggler. Ah. KO. Ridiculous. There's still 3 dudes left. Oh, I thought those other 4 dudes were going to help you throw it.
We call that a bleeding pass. Coach is bleeding that the pass will kick off a last
He's making it look so easy to play the elf game with dwarves. Just a GFI. Here comes my thrower. You messed with the wrong thrower. Run away. That's a lot of guys in the bad place. That's right. Uh-oh. Did he just... Oh, he made the 5+. The misclick. Amazing. He almost drew. Now that's just, I mean, that is rubbing my nose in it. Just casually doing the 5+ dodge before he scores. One last turn to get the kill. He's probably gonna backline a bunch of his dwarves. I need a reroll. One guy back. Let's see who's hot. Ooh. Oh, there's only one guy.
Maybe he should take an ice bath.
He's still full strength. Curses. Well, I got 4 guys. Oh no, he's gonna stack the line. He's gonna stack the line. To hit a runner. That's gonna be great. Oh, I may not get to hit a runner. I gotta put 3 dudes in here. I don't have enough guys. Come on, reroll. Oh, he gets a reroll. Oh, at least the ball... Wait a second. The ball's exactly where I need to hit him from. This game really does hate me.
Those players are running each other. Were you much of a runner?
Absolutely not, John. I stood on the line of scrimmage and my victims. I mean,
Got him. Kill incoming.
not for nothing that they're nicknamed Ironside.
Another one to finish the game. I've never seen a death roller celebrate. He was just like, yeah, chilling. I was leaning back. Well, that was what we like to call in the Blood Bowl business a joke. A joke, I says. 37% armor. Looks like I need to fire my armor. 2 pals. He had a lot of pushes compared to everything else. But all the 6s he could need. Ridiculous. Trounced.
Ready for a new match, Bob?
I never really
Well, I'm really upset that I had to play so many.
always ready for
Good night, Taylor Bear. I'm really upset that I had to play so many dwarves and chaos dwarves in this particular run. So I'm gonna play a team now that really puts dwarves on the back foot. Halflings. Ooh, I got to level up. Who leveled up? Oh yeah! Strong arm. Oh! Who needs strong arm? What a team, what a team. This guy's fired. Sorry, Zaman. Look at these attributes. Man, this team has been blessed with attributes, I'll tell you that much. Bombing for days. That's pretty impressive. I mean, I got the thrower that I wanted for this little experiment.
I've got my McBurney squid burger and my XXXL size cheese shake. Let's watch some
All right.
football.
Halfling. Tossing time. Well, that was game 20 versus Dwarf. It went horribly, but I got plus Agi on the thrower, so zing. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Come follow me on Twitch. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Time for some zings.